Good afternoon, everyone. It's December 4th, 2018. I'm here at DC Clothesline, and MSNBC guest, Dems must stop pandering to white working class. That isn't the future of this country. And that chick's name is Danielle Moody Mills. She's a host of Woke as Fuck. We already know where it's going when those two words are combined. Woke as fuck. That means she speaks Section 8. So, and this is going to tie into this one. LGBT advocates now routinely subjecting children to sexual abuse and gender fluid brainwashing in latest escalation of gender cultism. And here, FBI raids home of Clinton Foundation Uranium One whistleblower in violation of whistleblower law. Now, do you think the FBI is going to let the fucking Clintons fry for anything they've done? And by the way, that rhymed. Fry FBI. No, they're not going to do shit to them. I mean, as I said before, all the evidence that is needed is sitting on some server there in Utah at the NSA Mass Data Collection Center. So, any of you thinking that the Clintons are going to be prosecuted, think again. These people are the royalty of the United States. Back to this one, though. Danielle Moody Mills told MSNBC host Chris Hayes on Wednesday that Democrats need to stop pandering to the white working class, which is demographically becoming a minority because they're not the future of this country. Well, I wonder who the majority of people are going to be to survive after shit hits the fan. I venture to say it's not going to be individuals like her. I mean, just look at the condition of Africa as it stands today. All you need to see is Africa to understand, and we can also look at Liberia to understand exactly what level of survival skills these types of people have. After saying that white Americans and conservative Americans are afraid of what's coming down the pike, which I think it should probably be pipe, that would make more sense, but demographically, the woke as fuck host said, in quotes, Democrats need to stop doing is pandering to the white working class as if they're the only ones that are part of the working class. This is the problem. When we get into identity politics and we are told after the 2016 election, stop talking about identity politics, that's what lost the U.S. election. No, I don't think it was necessarily identity politics. It was dumbass Americans wanting to, or believing that a politician like Donald Trump could do anything to save them. A few of us warned when he announced he was running for president that he would be just the same as all the others. That his talk was just like the talk Barack Obama had. Just like the talk every politician before him. And that's all it is. It's talk. Yes, he's done some of the things that he said he would do. But on the other hand, he's completely turned his back on many of the others. Now let's see what this creature here has to say, if it's not too long. Let's see. Yeah, 1 minute and 30 seconds. I think we can deal with that. If it'll play.
But what's interesting is watching a lot of members of Congress.
Oh man, look at this shit.
Enter this house who do not have that generational memory of being blindsided by like Reagan backlash or post 9/11 backlash, and they seem to conduct themselves a lot with they seem to conduct themselves as if they really do believe the majority are behind them,
and they actually are reflective and look like the makeup of America that is now, and the America that white Americans, or conservative Americans, are afraid of that is coming down the pike. Here's the thing, what Democrats need to stop doing is stop pandering to the white working class as if they're the only ones that are part of the working class. This is the...
Alright, well, see, here's the thing, is, for the most part, it's been white people to build this country up, to build the infrastructure, to just make it what it is all around. The music industry, all that stuff, all the musicians. We do have a lot of good black musicians too, but they didn't come along until much later, right? And just our whole culture is built on the white Christian family household. And of course, all that's gone now, right? It's all gone. The Christians of today they are fucking, if their God is vengeful and filled with wrath, as the Bible says, then the majority of Christians today are going to face that wrath because they're not true Christians. They serve their God of the government before they serve God the Creator. And that's what's gone wrong, really. Overall, that is the problem. We don't serve our Creator, and when I say serve, I mean behave in a decent, respectful manner. You know, hold the door for each other. Say please and thank you. If you see someone on the side of the road and they don't look too threatening, help them out. You know, I talked about this Johnny X cat, ex-Army cat earlier, and the problem with guys like him is he's all over the place. He's all over the place. He has no direction. One day, this is the problem. The next day, this is the problem. How about this? It's all the problem. All of it. But at the top of that pyramid problem, at the end of the day, are the ruling class, the political class, the enforcement class. They are the biggest problems. The bureaucrat class. Those 3-4 classes right there are the problem. And any of you who think voting for one presidential candidate or another is going to get you anywhere, you're stupid. You're stupid. These guys are not as in charge as you would like to believe. Now, when you have a hard left government, this is the kind of shit that you get. Right there. And then, of course, when you have a hard right government, you have things like, and equally as stupid, the war on drugs. The war on X, Y, or Z. You ever notice every time they declare war on something, that something becomes much worse than it was to begin with? I mean, 10 years ago, people overdosing on heroin, it didn't even make the news hardly ever. Now, people are overdosing at such an alarming rate that people are freaking out thinking there's some kind of epidemic, but it's not. What the epidemic is, or epidemics in this country, is stupidity. That's the #1 epidemic. Then you have an epidemic of around 500,000, probably more than 500,000 people, each and every year just vanishes into thin air, right? Now, some of them people are recovered, but the majority are not. There's another epidemic right there. Then you have the epidemic of statism. You have an epidemic of financial fraud perpetrated by the ruling class. But people overdosing on heroin at the tune of roughly 15,000 is no fucking epidemic. It's not even something to be concerned over. Nope, it's not. But here we are. And like I said, these people right here, these LGBT advocates, they need to be fucking hung. If they're hurting children, they need to be hung along with their fucking, their enablers. I mean, look at this. Is that a little boy? Is that little boy? I think it is. And I guess I do agree with Mike Adams on this one thing, that the left is insane, but he doesn't understand that the right is equally insane, just in the opposite spectrum of thought. Again, we need a balance. A balance. And without that balance, life in this country fucking sucks. Bad. Without that balance, the world, life in this world, sucks bad. Just imagine if the United States had not been here to balance Soviet Russia, how terrible things would have gotten for them people over there. And they did get terrible, but they would have been much worse had there not been a counterbalance to Soviet power, and vice versa. Of course, the United States ended up being much worse than the Soviets in many ways, but not in all ways, right? Look at our spy apparatus. I mean, these technologies, the Germans, the communists, all them, it would have been their wet dream to have this stuff at their disposal. And here we are today. We have this stuff, and our government's using it in exactly the same way that those regimes would have used it. But this is what you get when you get too far left. You get people trying to brainwash children into sexualizing when they're not even there yet. They're not even at the point of sexualization. We're talking prepubescent children. What do they know about sex? Seriously. I mean, my daughter, she's not even mentioned anything about sex. She wanted to know where babies came from. Other than that, you know, she's innocent. Why is this child not innocent? The only explanation is his parents and all the people around him, including those who are supposed to protect him, are abusing him. It is the only explanation. And there are many children like that out there. And the people doing this to them, they should be hung. They should be hung. Now, the FBI raided the home of Clinton Foundation Uranium One whistleblower. They weren't supposed to do that because it violates the law. You notice how when a Republican is up there talking about the rule of law, there's no such thing because the law does not apply equally to everyone, especially not the ruling class. Well, making America great again became the catchphrase for Donald Trump's campaign and tenure as president. The most famous phrase associated with Trump that rang the bell for many conservative Christian constitutionalists was, "Lock her up," referring to Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton and her numerous crimes, well documented as Secretary of State before and after she failed campaign for president. Yet Trump called Clinton good people. God damn it. Trump called the Clintons, not just Hillary Clinton, but the Clintons, good people in reference to her service to the United States after assuming office. Now let me remind you of all the nasty shit he said on the stage during the campaign. Now all of a sudden they're just great people, right? American citizens are still waiting on Trump to lock her up or begin investigations into her numerous scandals: Benghazi, Uranium One, the email server, and the infamous Clinton Foundation. Unfortunately, due to recent developments, the investigation into Hillary's numerous scandals and the Clinton Foundation may not get off the ground. Does this surprise you? If it does, you are not and have not been paying attention to the way things work in this country and across the planet. And again, the only way to solve these problems is violence. That's it. There's nothing else. This is the only language these kind of people understand. Remember, she laughed when Gaddafi was needlessly murdered. We came, we saw, he died. With her witch cackle. And then, of course, you had Madeleine Albright saying slaughtering 500,000 Iraqi children was worth the price of what exactly? You cannot reason with people who have this mindset. And thinking you can is completely wrong. I know this. I know this for a fact. Here. See, I know this for a fact because I do my homework. This is abnormal psychology. Yep, abnormal psychology. This is the kind of thing I'm into for a hobby. I know for a fact, based on the things I read in my psychology books, that these people will never be punished. I know for a fact that unless violence is utilized against them, our world is going to continue to plummet into the darkness. And, of course, this is an example of leftist government making things worse. Right here. And by the way, the right-wing establishment has their own track record of making the things they go after much worse than they were when they started. Look at the education system. So, I thought I would share this with you all. I hope you all have a good day. And until next time, kill the state before the state kills you.